this is a review of the MPC California Highway Patrol 1978 Dodge Monaco model kit. I've just completed this, and I will tell you more about this kit. This is a rebox with a little bit of new tooling for the push bar and the lights on top. So pretty much everything else is the same. It's a lot of different weapons here, which I don't think was part of the 1978 CHP patrol car. They probably only had a shotgun, the handgun, pistol, the wheels. These are newer wheels that are not as wide. This kit was also boxed as the Joker car and another police car, TJ Hooker, I think. So they use this tooling a lot. So new box, vintage retro looking style, which is nice. So this is how it looks. I did not glue the light bar on. That way I can get a slick top. Okay. So this is it. That's the new push bar that I've just pushed on. I'm not gluing that one in. Those are the new wheels. Decals are good. Nice and thin. Accurate details, highway patrol. The antennas are a little thick as usual. Nothing much they can do about that. For the spotlights, right here. For these spotlights, I had to use a different light. The spotlights that were included did not look right. I don't have it in front of me right now. This looks more appropriate. So I made it look like a spotlight. I like them in the up position instead of down. These side mirrors, these were actually the spotlights. See, those are the spotlights. I repurposed them to be side mirrors because the side mirrors on this car were supposed to be round, more flat than this, but this looked a lot more accurate than what was included. This was what was included, see? That's more for a more modern car, or even car in the 80s, 90s, maybe 90s and up. See, so that looks a little bit more accurate there. I put in the full complement of weapons just for fun, even though these cars, I'm sure, did not come with a Tommy machine gun, a World War II rifle. So I put the shotgun in front. Here's the rear. I messed up on the glass there, but I put in those rear deck lights, made them orange, since it had the blue and red on top. Probably had orange hazard slash directional lights in the back when I pulled over someone. One major issue with this kit is the rear axle. The rear axle is actually very long. It's very long, so the wheels stick out. By the time I realized it, it was too late, so I couldn't cut it off. The super glue I used was pretty strong, and I couldn't cut off the axle to narrow it up, shorten it. I mean, ideally, the wheels would be like that. That's how the wheels should look. A little bit tucked in. That's how these cars were. A little tucked in. But now, you see that? It's sticking out. If I evened it out, it's still sticking out slightly. So I think that's accurate. Overall, it was a pretty fun build. It's a pretty unique subject. It's fun, you can customize it because of the extra parts. Here's some of the extra parts. Oh, light bar, pistol, certain handles, different lights, probably used for when it was a Joker car or TJ Hooker car. There you go, little pedal there, footrest. So a lot of different options here. One thing about this instruction sheet, first thing I noticed after looking through the front and back maybe 5 times is that there is no paint legend. See? And it calls out, you know, I, B, C, right? But nowhere on here tells you what paints those should be. See? Nothing. So I had to talk to round 2, and they sent me a revision, a revised PDF. They left it out, so I had to write it down here because I didn't want to print it out. Okay, pretty much the same as their old kits, but for some reason this new Reeboks, they totally left that legend out. So they probably redid part of these instructions and forgot to drop it back in. Here's the engine assembly. Pretty straightforward. One thing about these headers here, because it goes into a single pipe, this bottom pipe there has, you basically have to cut it off of one of the 2 headers and adjust it. This connects to the other side. So that one they don't really tell you, but you just have to figure that out and cut it, glue it across. I'll show you. Right here. It's right here. That's the underside. Underside of it. Straightforward. The guns here, M16, probably M1 rifle, Thompson, Tommy gun. None of these were probably in the CHP cruiser back then. I put it in anyway for fun. I did not put this in. This communication device, first aid kit, radio. Right here, this radar plus police radio. I put in, they said to put it down here. I put it between the seats. Sure if you can see it. So like that, more or less. So nothing went on the dash really, from what I could tell online. It was all down on the floor between the seats, for example. Different weapons here. Yeah, plus you wouldn't really put a rack of weapons in the back seat. This is probably before they had the divider. And prisoners in the back. Wheel assembly was straightforward. The wheels were more narrow, so you remove this lip there. But I had trouble getting it to stick. It seemed like the tires were still slightly wider than it should be, so I kind of pushed these two pieces out. This is the axle to be careful about, so when you put this in, it's a little too long. Okay, maybe made for the Joker car, where where the wheels were offset or wider, but for this car you probably need to cut that down, make it more narrow. This is straightforward. Straightforward, I did not remove these back windows. This firewall was not that straightforward. There is no notch right here that fits in to this interior bucket. There's no notch. You pretty much have to guess. You have to line it up with the bottom, the transmission mount here, the hole. So you gotta line that up so it's straight. Do a lot of test fitting. Okay, that was fine. Bumpers were fine. I'll show you in the picture. I think especially the back bumper, there was a gap right here on the two sides. I know these bumpers probably stuck out a little. They kind of were wider than the body. But if you glued the top to make it flush so there's no gap here, more or less, there's a little gap on the sides. It stuck out a little. I'll show you in the pictures. This is straightforward. I just press fit this front push bar. The mirrors, I told you, I repurposed the spotlights for mirrors, and I repurposed a different light for the spotlights. But if you want it in a down position or any position, these front spotlights, there are no holes, mounting holes. There are no mounting holes anywhere on this A-pillar. Same with the door. No mounting holes for the mirrors. So you pretty much have to super glue carefully to get in the right position. Especially if you have the spotlight in the down position. It looks like that handle should go into, according to this picture, into the dash, not the dash, but this windshield wiper area, part of the hood. But it should go into the pillar. Straightforward. The lenses I just pressed down, didn't need glue. That was fine. Did not use this radar. Looked a little too funny. The antenna is too thick as usual, but that's how these kits are. There are no mounting holes right here. Normally in the pictures of cars I've seen, the antennas mounted more or less right here in this quarter panel, rear fender. But there are no holes here that I know of. Probably gotta drill it out beforehand. That's it. Overall, a fun kit. Slight challenges, so maybe not for a beginner. As you can see the wheels stick out now. not bad. Detail wise, not bad. There are actual antennas too, so you can put some on the roof. See, no mounting holes right there. Oh, actually, maybe I'd see a little something, but you gotta drill it out. Oh, the other part. I used bare metal foil for the trim. I thought that was easier than painting for me. Trim went all the way back. That's it.